Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Fitzpatrick, and I have had the pleasure and the challenge of serving as the Blackstone Valley Regional Vocational School District Superintendent for the past 23 years. The purpose of this program is to provide an additional insight and information relative to the district's FY17 operational budget. In standard form, we have met over the past several months. Our subcommittee consists of school committee members, school administrators, and periodic presenters from our school department, curriculum experts, technological experts, athletic directors, the principal, instructional team members, and others. Each are presenting the merit and the defending, if you will, their request, and offering suggestions and strategies to live within the maximum increase that is being advanced to the citizens of the district at this time. The total budget increase is a 3% increase. In fact, any observer should note that over the past 10 years, if not longer, the district's had a trend of an increase never greater than 3%. FY17 has some interesting challenges. The governor of Massachusetts, who's been a strong supporter of vocational technical education, has indicated that the revenue stream in the budget that he released in January is somewhat limited, and therefore, for all intents and purposes, the basic state aid to us, known as Chapter 70, and the regional transportation aid, known as Chapter 71, are nearly flat or zero increases from the previous year. This has created a challenge that the district and the operational budget had to contend, from the time in which it commenced its reviews and preparation. The burden upon our assessments of our member towns is always greater when the state revenues are held in check. It's a scenario that we would like to avoid, and therefore that's one of the reasons why we immediately began a variety of cost-saving measures, the acquisition of additional grants, gifts, and other alternative revenue streams. And now we're advancing our assessment in cooperation with the 13 towns and the 126 Finance Committee members that we shall work with going forward. We've enjoyed a professional exchange with our communications with town administrators, with boards of select persons, and Finance Committee subcommittees that serve the 13 towns. And we recognize that we have an obligation to share that information and to provide insight and additional clarifications where they're deemed beneficial and where the public feels more comfortable in asking for its dollars to invest in vocational technical education. The budget booklet, we're going to walk you through that kind of a page-by-page process in this online program. The materials were prepared by our students. We generally use any learning opportunity. In this case, our multimedia students, formerly referred to as graphic arts, have assisted us in creating the documents and publications. Prior to the release of this budget, the district also prepared an annual report to its citizens. That document was also prepared by our students. And anyone who might like a copy, we can make certain that you receive that if you have not received it through the standard distribution across our 13 towns. In any case, the budget booklet identifies the budget subcommittee of the individuals who worked throughout the past several months in building this budget. It includes the standard welcoming letter, which summarizes the changes that I drafted. My letter will point to several modifications, not all of them, but some of the key ones. The first is that with cooperation of our school committee and our Teachers Association, we impact bargained a brand new or an additional health plan that has a higher deductible but a lower cost premium to help offset the insurance rates that are projected. School systems and municipalities across the state of Massachusetts are experiencing special inflationary considerations due to health insurance, and certainly Valley Tech was among them. So we also had to consider how we could live within our existing staff, although we continue to be one of the few schools in Massachusetts that expands its student body. The current student body grew by 17 additional students from the previous year. We do have a reduction of 3.5 positions, but frankly, they are positions that we're considering to be non-instructional as far as their impact. These are due to modifications in security and there are other changes that we could secure the services through alternative non-budgetary means. We have no capital improvement requests that are being made in the FY17 budget. We certainly recognize that capital improvements are a critical aspect of making certain that our learning meets the need of today and tomorrow's industry, and that the current instruction is relevant and updated, state of the art, if you will. And so to secure the resources for that, we competed with others across the state, and the first allocation was $407,000, and we are already preparing additional proposals to secure further capital improvements and capital assets from non-operational budget sources. We have approached the state in special legislation, in lobbying, and in interactions and communications with the executive branch relative to pension relief for any 2013 and 2014 billing that has been brought to our attention. So far, we received full cooperation from those agents, and we are able to adjust our FY17 budget reflective of those conversations in good faith. We continue to create multiple means for our students to raise money. We have the benefit of technical talent in students doing projects throughout the district and also doing improvement projects on our campus that allows us to do things that most schools simply could not do because they would not have the benefit of all these licensed trade people nor a future workforce eager to join the ranks with their trade skills. Our students complete services that raise money through multiple forms. In many cases, people look at us as almost like a mall with a restaurant, with cosmetology services, dental assisting services, automotive technology services, construction technology service, and many others in the sense of an ability of our students to raise money, help the towns save money, and yet always be aligned to true learning. We have never asked our students to do jobs or work simply to generate revenue. We're mindful of the fact that they're here to learn and to grow, and we need to blend those two priorities and goals. In a somewhat unique funding process, this FY17 includes a self-funded next section of our roof repair project. Jack McCarthy, the executor for the Mass School Building Authority, has singled out Valley Tech as being a rare school system to self-fund its roof projects rather than the more traditional model of going to the towns in a special request for additional money to fund bonds. So we have no new bonding request. We're self-funding that, and that's how we're recycling dollars that were received from either previous roof projects in order to protect the environment and the investment that our citizens have made in this 52-year-old facility. We also received authorization from our 13-member district school committee to apply $250,000. $250,000 of the reserve fund will be used to reduce assessments in a self-funding effort. Again, this is intended to show the true partnership that has created the cohesion and the respect that Valley Tech enjoys. And we recognize that that only continues when both parties continue to work cooperatively and cohesively. The next page in the budget is generally viewed to be the revenue side. As I previously mentioned, unfortunately, at this juncture, the only information we have is the governor's budget, and therefore we're using those numbers. And the governor's budget is rather lean, which is an indication of the revenue that he knew existed. We can tell firsthand that in working with this governor and with the secretaries of labor, of housing and economic development, secretary of education in Massachusetts, that the current executive branch is not about to overpromise, and they're very conservative in looking at existing confirmed revenue streams so that they don't have mid-year cuts which the state has incurred over the past 2 cycles. In any case, the budgetary increase is a total increase of 3%, and the specific summary categories of both revenue and expenditure are detailed on that page. The district, some 13 years ago, received unanimous support for an expansion project and is now nearing the last 7 years of that. We've refinanced the previous improvement project so that to enjoy a lower rate, which we were allowed to do after 50% of the time had elapsed, the 10-year cycle of the 20, and now we find ourselves in the 13th year for the next bond. The specific bond requests are detailed in the documents. The state continues to increase the absolute minimum contribution, and that's a component of that which we ask each of our towns to pay and to contribute. And those numbers are indicated along with a very modest additional assessment. All of that is included in the detailed pages that are provided. In addition, we include traditionally, over the past 23 years, a line item breakout so that people can see the major changes. In a budget that changes by a total increase of 3%, you frankly do not have major cost centers staggering or spiking. The 2 major cost increases that we witnessed were first health benefits, and the second would be pensions. We're not suggesting to our public, although we're living with a 3% increase with your authorization and permission, that we would lessen the quality of education or the opportunity for our students. Additional documentation that you'll find in the budget booklet include a return on investment page. While we enjoy a cooperative relationship with our sending school districts, we oftentimes need to point out to people that as a regional school and a regional vocational technical school serving 13 municipalities, that we have items that are built into our budget that oftentimes in a town department, local school system budget, or a K through 12 budget, are shared in some way by the municipality. We're delighted to see that our sister school systems are able to have such sharing, but it's a luxury we do not enjoy. And therefore, everything that all cost centers, from snow plowing to legal, to unemployment compensation, to so many others, they are included in our budget in our single one-time request. Over the years, Valley Tech has never gone back to its member towns for an additional town meeting or a special town meeting for a subsequent request. If the state dollars are in fact reduced from those projected and built into our budget, we would expect that we would have to live within the eventual state dollars that come our way. Our school committee takes that very seriously, and we are committed to maintain that reputation and that approach. Our Finance Committee members and others have indicated they'd like to see charts periodically, whether they be bar charts or other graphs that detail some of the changes in either state aid or pupil investment or others. And so we have a series of those that are also included in the back section of the budget book. Additionally, Valley Tech has a reputation for being particularly aggressive in securing grant and complementary dollars to add to that which we ask our towns to appropriate. The only way we can do that is if the towns continue to match their contribution as requested by our budget subcommittee. You can well imagine that a foundation or an outside agency would be not inclined to support a further investment if they found that the local communities were reluctant to do so. So as a result of the confidence and the willingness of our communities to appropriate and secure the necessary dollars for us to advance, we are able to continue to add additional grants. The grant detail is also contained and detailed and exceeds some $2 million. Lastly, we try to provide just a summary of some of the accolades, some of the special awards and recognitions that our students and staff have earned over the past year. We're quite proud of the affiliation and the family members that make up either our student body, our advisory committees, which now tally some 500 different industrial advisors, and our staff. These individuals and these teams have distinguished themselves in the media, print, social, and technologically, have recognized these special activities, these meritorious achievements, and it's another form of return on investment. And so we're pleased to share this and to assure people that we won't rest on our laurels. We will continue to provide the professional development and the other nurturing support that allows our staff and students to prosper and to secure additional recognitions. This is another way in which we can confirm to the employment opportunities of our students, either directly or indirectly, or any colleges or technical college and schools that our students wish to further their education, that when they recruit a Valley Tech talent or work with a Valley Tech teacher or staff member, they're working with the very best, and the potential is unlimited. As I mentioned when I commenced my remarks in this program, it has been an honor to serve you over the past 23 years. We do our best to respond to the questions that surface, and will continue to do so. Additionally, I invite any citizen to offer additional strategies or suggestions for us for cost containment measures or to secure additional resources. Working together, it is simply unlimited what can be accomplished. Thank you very much.